Hello and welcome to the first round of Season 2 of the Bskit Manufacturer Showdown 60s Muscles cars. To kick things off, let's bring in our benchmark car, the Bissell GTX. The Bissell was originally just an engineering project for Bissell. The company wanted to look into V-design engines and came up with the GTX. 5,407cc single overhead cam V8, making 350 horsepower and 332 foot-pounds of torque. Once the project was finished, the engine was stuck on a pallet and shipped all the way to the Detroit plant for storage. A member of the design team heard about the engine and instead of letting it sit to be forgotten about, designed Project Thumper and submitted it as a concept sketch. This somehow got greenlit for a one-off display at the 1969 Seymour show alongside the 280B Mark II and the Bissell & Tumble SUV and truck. After the show, Bissell received several letters asking if the car would ever be put into production. Did I say several? I mean it flooded the post room. So Bissell decided that we're going to make 50 of them, including the original. All made at the Detroit plant. 48 of the 50 were sold to the general public, the 49th was awarded to the Detroit plant manager, and the last one was sold as part of a charity auction. The GTX managed a time of 1 minute, 9 seconds, 2006 at the Automation Old Test Track. In last place for this round is Wagons with the Hollywood. 8 litres of raw power doesn't exactly sound like the standard British sports car. Well, the Hollywood isn't your standard sports car. It was produced in the great year of 1960, just as the muscle car craze was about to kick off. The old saying goes, anything you can do, I can do better. And Wagons was in the need of sonority, so they made possibly the ballsiest move they could, rented out a shed in Minnesota, and proceeded to attempt a power play on the entire American motor industry. The Hollywood was a straight out of the box drag racer, with a bounty put out for any factory American car to beat its quarter-mile time, which remained unclaimed until the later part of the decade. Its secret weapon, its engine. 790 pounds of steel, over 500 torque across its substantial rev range, hung behind the rear axles, offering its unparalleled traction for its time. Recording a then impressive quarter-mile time of 12.6. It's actually 13, mate. Problems came, however, when it came to production. The original plan was to contract the design out to one of the American companies with the facilities to produce the car, but this was unsuccessful. Cord was already designing a muscle car of their own, and General Automobiles was somewhat offended by being directly called out by the Hollywood, and refused. As such, only 5 models were made and displayed, and 1 is retained with the Wagons themselves. The car only managed a lap time of 1 minute 14.090 due to its wonky handling, something unusual for the Wagons guys. Up next is the Caledonia Aggressor SS, with a lap time of 1 minute 11.203. The Caledonia Aggressor SS was dreamt up when Caledonia listened to builders when got on board with the generic and slow vans, so the Caledonia helped them by making a commercial vehicle with a 4.5 litre V8, pumping out 350 brake horsepower. With help with the sporty 5-speed manual gearbox, the Aggressor could go from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, and carry on to a top speed of 147 miles per hour. Some serious numbers for a van. Customers love the fact that they can carry their supplies to the building site almost twice as fast and looking 5 times better. Then we have the SMC Loki. The SMC Loki Snowstorm is SMC's twist on the classic muscle car, with more of a European styling instead of the generic American styling that dominated muscle cars in the market. SMC wanted to stand out and show Americans and the world that they're a bit different up north. With enough torque to restart a dead planet and a 5-speed gearbox, this thing really does go when you floor it. The Loki got a lap time of a 1 minute 10.323. Aurora, a company who managed to skip our introductory round, takes the next spot. Their headquarters in Frankfort, Delaware, USA. Walkin, the company's first car, started in 1906, but wasn't finished until late into the 1940s, as it was only worked on by the two Aurevoir brothers. It might have been quite competitive at the time, but with a limited workforce, not many examples of the first car were made. But as word went around, the company grew in size slowly, building a stable foundation for itself, becoming a well-established company. The company is now known for making a wide variety of vehicles, all the way from trucks to compacts and everything between. One of the company's limited production cars will be representing the company, the Aurora Vixen, a concept car that debuted in the early 90s, found its way into the market in the early 2000s. Some might call it a collector's item for its weird spiraling and stacks. It's not an everyday car. Their car for this round is the Aurevoir Python. A sensible muscle car, some might say, enough room to fit a family of 5 and the comfort to match. But no nothing for you. It still has the looks and power to put the muscle cars to shame. It managed a time of 1:09.762, slotting in just behind the GTX. The next 3 cars are all within a few tenths of each other, starting with the Helvetii SMB 7. The SMC 7 started as a publicity stunt to draw attention to Helvetii when entering the North America market. However, a lot of die-hard fans of the old, powerful American muscle cars petitioned for SMB to have a short production run of 500 units. 7 in its name means that it has a mid-level performance package, luxurious interior, large brakes, and wide wheels are kept regardless of what's under the hood. The large 6.9 litre 32 valve V8 double wishbone suspension on all wheels and a low weight of just over 3,000 pounds is a pleasure to drive. Furthermore, the engine is highly customizable due to its strong cast iron block capable of withstanding much more power. It also is actually just a supercar, but we'll ignore that. Its lap time is a 1 minute 08.954. Then we have i6 Inc. with the 508 LX. 60s were a different time for i6 Inc. We weren't completely consumed with reusing the best inline engines, and we were still testing the waters with some other engine configs, so we presented the i6 Inc. 508 LX. Weighing in at just 3,400 pounds, the i6 Inc. 508 LX manages to put down 350 horsepower and 335 foot-pounds of torque from its 5 litre V8, made it to a 5-speed gearbox. Although that torque curve doesn't quite sound unconventional coming from a hefty V8, rest assured that the 500 LX's performance on track makes up for what otherwise seems like an improperly tuned 60s V8. Taking second place is the Wolf El Diablo. The Wolf Motor Company presents as the 1969 El Diablo, an Australian muscle utility vehicle built to combat the Australian and American markets. The 5.8 litre overhead valve V8 powers the 135 kg machine through a 4x4 drivetrain, a first for the muscle UT division. The workhorse can take you anywhere in style. The El Diablo achieved a 1 minute 08.619, leaving Bolt to take first with the Baltimore BTD. Baltimore BTD is not only a magnificent muscle car, it's also a bit of luxury to enjoy as well. Equipped with a 5.8 litre V8 producing 350 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque, the Baltimore, officially weighing 3,000 pounds, goes to 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. This mean, lean, painfully purple machine is a prime example of a rough and tough little guy who still has much to offer and will pleasantly surprise you, much like the city it's named after. The Baltimore smashed out a 1 minute 06.773 around the track. So let's get all the times up on the board. And let's award the points. Now, to unveil what our next round is. Super Wagons. Our regulations for this round are a max power of 550 horsepower. The vehicle must be road legal, must score at least 90 in Family Premium, Family Sport, or Family Utility Premium. Hirochi Raceway Short Race Circuit will be the circuit for early testing. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your entries.